Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lindsay and we've added a pumpkin to our background. Today we're trying out Selena Gomez's new makeup line, Rare Beauty. I have a bunch of stuff to test and share my thoughts with you guys. So excited about this and I hope you are too. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you do enjoy it or find it helpful at any point, and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love for you to join me. But let's go ahead and get into these Rare Beauty products. Alright guys, our first product I have here from Rare Beauty is their Always an Optimist Illuminating Primer. This is the full size, which is $26 for 0.94 ounces. They also do have a half-ounce size, which is $14 if you wanted to like try it out and didn't want to commit to the full size. So this is the one product along with the brush that I have been trying out for a couple days now because I picked these both up in store. The rest I had ordered online. So this, when I first tried it, immediately reminded me of the Say Beauty Glowy Super Gel. So I wanted to do actually a half face of this and that to compare the finish for you guys. They are similar price. This one is $1 more, I think, actually $1 less. It's $25 and you get 1 ounce of product, so very similar. So here's what the Rare Beauty one looks like. It is a little bit thicker than the Say Beauty one. And I'm gonna put this one on the left side of my face. This primer doesn't really have a noticeable scent to it, which I like. I was kind of scared it might be strongly scented. And it feels nice and light on the face. It does have a pearlized finish to it. But I don't find that the shimmer is too noticeable on the skin. I will say it does have more shimmer than the Say Beauty one does. This is actually a silicone-free primer. It's described as weightless, silicone-free gel primer enriched with ultra-fine pearls for a lit from within glow. Radiant finish for all skin types. So Rare Beauty isn't Clean at Sephora verified, but they do have a ton of call outs, and just looking at the ingredients myself, not really a ton that I found that would make me not want to buy it. Depends on the product. There's some phenethylethanol and silicones in the foundation. This one is specifically silicone free. And then I believe the majority of the products have some essential oils in them too. Just with that, you can tell like how glowy it makes your skin look. I'm going to do the other half of my face with the Say Beauty Super Glow Gel. This is the lighter shade. Here's what the Say Beauty one looks like. They look really similar. Say Beauty is a lot more of a gel-like consistency compared to the Rare Beauty one. And you can tell it has less pearl to it. And I did just put tanner on, so I'm kind of avoiding my neck area. So I guess it really depends on what you're looking for. The Rare Beauty one is a lot more pearlized on the skin. If you have textured skin, you might want to only place this in areas you want to highlight or don't want to emphasize texture. But for me, I feel like it looks really pretty on the skin. Say Beauty's a lot lighter, less of a noticeable pearl to it. Like I can't see it on my skin as much as the Rare Beauty one. So if you want something more natural to wear on its own, you might want to go with Say Beauty. But in terms of intensity, Rare Beauty definitely takes it. Moving along to the foundation, I'm so excited to try this. This is the Liquid Touch Weightless Foundation. This retails for $29. All the products in this range are on the lower end of high end. They're not extremely pricey, which I appreciate. This is described as a weightless foundation with concentrated pigments that feel barely there while providing buildable medium to full coverage with a natural finish. Very excited about that. I love medium to full coverage and natural finishes, and it says it's for all skin types as well. I don't know if I mentioned, but it is $29. I do really enjoy the packaging of all of these products so far. Primer's really cute. These are all plastic, by the way, so they're lighter weight, so good for travel. I picked up the shade 170W. They do have swatches on Sephora. So this is 170W light with warm olive undertones. Thought that would be perfect because I do have a self tan on majority of the time, which has more olivey undertones. And then to go with that, I did not see myself picking this up at first, but it's the Liquid Touch foundation brush. I watched some videos and I never apply my foundation with a brush, but a lot of the videos that I watched were saying that this goes really well with the foundation. So I said, why not? Let's give it a shot. This is vegan, cruelty-free brush, $28, which more than I spend on a single brush. It's very lightweight. Like to me, it doesn't feel like very luxurious feeling, but it's lightweight, and so far I already washed it and it hasn't shed or lost its shape. So we're gonna go ahead and try the foundation now. And the applicator is a doe foot. This is so liquidy, like Kosas tinted face oil type liquidy. So what I'm gonna do is start with a little bit and we'll see how far that goes. I'm not noticing much of a scent either, a little bit foundation-y, but nothing too crazy. Wow, this stuff is pigmented. I was not expecting it to look good because my foundation never looks good with a brush, but I wasn't even buffing. Like I literally just swiped that on and that covered like so much. Here's what that first initial layer looks like. It covered like the majority of what I wanted to cover. Acne scarring is like a little bit there and so is my redness. That's pretty much expected with most foundations. Ignore that little self-tan patch. But yeah, I think the shade looks good too. Like I'm amazed by how easily this just applied. And I do feel like the primer peeks through. We're gonna go ahead and do the same application over on this side of the face. So I'm gonna do the same amount, 3 stripes, and then I'm going to use a sponge on this side to see how it compares. I got a brand new Real Technique sponge here, so no other product is on my sponge. It looks so good too. What the heck? The brush versus the sponge is looking very, very similar right now. The sponge was even quicker than the brush. I am finding that it's settling a little bit in my pores and like the smile line here. So I went ahead and finished up the forehead too. As much as I think this is a nice brush, I like the shape of it. You can sort of turn it and fit into the small little areas of your face. I still like the sponge side better. Personally, for my skin type, I do have a lot of texture on my face. If you don't struggle with texture, I think that you would actually really like this in combination with the foundation. They do work really well together. Super quick application, and I'm pretty amazed by the first layer of this already. It gave me really nice coverage. I am going to build it up. The only thing I'm noticing is kind of more on this side than this side. I'm not totally sure why. There's just like this area of my face where my pores, it's a little sunken into. Maybe it's the primer that did that. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I'll keep note of that during the day. But I'm going to go ahead and apply another layer of this with a sponge and see if we could build it up. In terms of the feel of this, it feels really, really lightweight, very serum-y, but in an almost dry oil type of way. That makes sense. Like, it doesn't feel very gel-like. Here's our second layer. My first impressions of this so far is really, really good. I love how it looks on the skin. I love the coverage. It's like my ideal finish and coverage. I have combo skin, so I like something that's gonna stay put and is not too oily, but still looks very skin-like. Like I still feel like this looks like skin. Just a little bit more on the satiny side, not very glowy, but I do feel like because the primer they made is glowy, they go really well together if you want to like boost the glow. Next to try from Rare Beauty, I have the Liquid Touch Brightening Concealer. I got the shade 110N, which is light with neutral golden undertones. My face might be a little bit light today, but I do like lighter concealers. This is $19, has similar packaging to everything else, and this is described as a lightweight hydrating concealer with cake-free medium to full coverage that lasts while brightening skin with a radiant finish and for all skin types. So this is more of like a concealer consistency. It's not as thin as the foundation, and the doe foot is interesting. It has like this triangular shape to it. Ooh, that's cool. Because of the shape, it like, you can really get into those corners and the sides of your nose. I love that because I always highlight the sides of my nose. This collection also has a concealer brush for $16, but the Flower Beauty one I just got looks just like it. So I'm going to probably spread this with the brush first and then go in with my sponge. Concealer, I'm not noticing any scent with either. This is super thin as well. Like one of the thinnest concealers like I've ever tried. I blended it out really nicely and it's offering a brightening effect. I'm going to put a little bit more because I feel like it's not totally full coverage. Still see a little bit of darkness coming through. That seemed to build up nicely. It is still a thinner consistency, so it did build up nicely. I like how it looks at the moment. I do feel like because it's thinner, on this eye specifically, it did sort of automatically just go into the little tiny lines, which does happen for a lot of other concealers. I just make sure to smooth it out before I set it. I will take note of that and sort of see after I set it if that's still there or if it did get smoothed out. That's the one thing I'm noticing, but like the blendability, the coverage, all looks really nice. It's going well with the foundation. So far we're doing good. I'm excited. I also want to point out that the foundation is creasing in my smile lines. It isn't set yet, so that's not like a huge deal breaker. We'll see once it's set if that gets worse or it kind of is the same throughout the day. Before I set, I do want to use the liquid product because we know powder and liquids don't always go super well together. Here we have the Soft Pinch Liquid Blush. I got the shade Bliss, which is a matte nude pink. I have both matte and dewy versions of this product. I also have this little sample size of the blush in, I'm not sure which one this is. I think this one is Grace, which is matte bright rose mauve. This was like a free with purchase from Sephora. The blushes do also have a doe foot on them. Another interesting shape. It's sort of rounded out, which makes sense for your cheeks. I'm first gonna go in with the full size that I purchased. So this shade looks really pretty. There are a lot of brighter shades in the blush collection, which I think is nice for deeper skin tones or people who prefer a more bright blush. For me, I went with the most neutral one because I'm fair. Blush can be a little crazy. I'm literally gonna start with that amount and see where it goes. And I'm using a Luxie small contouring brush. I might use my sponge as well. For the amount I put on, those are really pigmented because it was like the tiniest amount and it's actually covering all my cheeks, 2 of them. I really like that shade. It's very natural looking on my skin. I'm gonna try this little sample one I have too. One is a lot brighter. Still very pretty though. I'm really happy with that. It went well over the foundation, even when using a brush. And if you went in with a sponge, you'd probably get an even smoother finish. I'm really happy with this effect. I think it looks beautiful. It didn't pick up on my foundation. It looks super natural, but you do need the tiniest amount of this to cover your cheeks, which I think is great because this would last you forever, and you could also build it up if you need it more pigmented. The matte, I'm not sure if it's a foundation that's still a little bit glowy. I think that's probably what it is. Because it didn't seem to add glow. It kind of just stayed the same. So far, these products are definitely giving me a very natural skin-like finish, which I love. Next, I have the Rare Beauty Enlighten Liquid Luminizer. The blushes are $20, by the way, which I think is pretty reasonable. So the highlight we have, these are $22. Positive Light Liquid Luminizer Highlight. I have the lightest sort of champagne shade. This one I thought would be light enough for my skin. I think the pink one probably would also work, but I stuck with the lightest one just in case. So this is described as a silky second skin liquid highlight that creates a lasting, soft, and luminous finish. So what I'm going to do is actually set one side of my face and then see how this applies over powder and then leave it unset on the other side, because I do really want to see if this is going to work over powder, because that's traditionally how I do my makeup, is foundation, concealer, set my face, and then put my liquid or blush highlight products on top of that. I'm going to use the Ilia Soft Focus Finishing Powder because I'm so familiar with this. I've been using it for the longest time. We're going to set this side of my face, so I'm going to smooth out the concealer first. Now I'm just setting as I normally would. I love this powder so much. You guys know I do. Now taking whatever was left and setting the rest of my cheek and forehead. Usually to apply a liquid over a powder, I will not put it directly on my face. So I'm gonna use that technique today. I just put it on a little bit of a palette here, and then I grab my sponge, usually just the tip of it, sort of get it evenly applied so we're not gonna get any patchiness. And then I'm just going to stipple it on my cheekbones. I have a lot of texture right up here. Wow, that's pretty. So this technique usually works the best for me. I also really prefer this over your fingers because you can be very dainty with it. I find with your fingers, it really can pick up the foundation. This is like not picking up at all, which is surprising me. The shade is really pretty. It looks like a natural glow, which I love. Not very metallic. All right, let's try that same thing over on this side. I'm gonna try that same technique over on the unset side of my face. I'm gonna take some down the center of my nose too. This is pigmented, by the way. I use like the tiniest amount. It's seeming to go a long way. That's a little weird. I feel like this side just like set down and now it's not like as glowy as it was. It's interesting. We'll see if that happens over here. That's really interesting because I feel like this just went from being like very glowy but still natural to being very natural, like subtly noticeable. While this side of my face is drying, I just want to show you what the set versus unset version of my face looks like. Unset over here, we have a smile line. I don't know if you can see like in this corner of my eye, like it's really sunken in, the concealer and all those tiny fine lines, but I smoothed it out over here and it set nicely. So I'm not going to complain about that yet. So this side does seem to do a similar thing. It sort of dried down and lost a little bit of its dewiness. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the rest of my face now, and then we'll move on. So this went from looking pretty good to looking not so good very quickly, which is disappointing. But I didn't set this part of my cheek to see how that affects the highlighter. I do find like the highlighter that I put over powder is a lot less glowy versus this side, and I just wanted to see like how they compare. I'm just noticing like when I set is accentuating like dryness and texture a little bit. I know it's not the powder because I love this and I've tried it with so many different things. All right, so that was pretty much it for the face. I am going to finish up with some bronzer. I'll do this on camera with you guys. I'm gonna use the Flower Beauty Heat Wave bronzer, which is so pigmented. I knew something was missing from my face. There is no bronzer in this collection. It'd be really cool if they did like a blush formula but bronzer. Okay, anyway, I'm all bronzed up now. I'm going to finish the eyes and be back for the last couple of products. All right guys, we're back with the rest of our eye makeup on. I used the Velour Lash of the Day. I don't know the name of the ones that I use, but I will put them in the description below. They're super pretty. So the last product I have here from Rare Beauty is a lip product. They do have lip balms, and this is the lip cream. I did not pick up the lip balm because I just wanted to try this one a little bit more, and I have a lot of lip balms. So this is the Lip Soufflé Matte Cream Lipstick. It's a weightless air whipped lip cream that hugs lips with rich color and nourishing hydration. It gives a soft velvety matte finish. Liquid lipstick. It says that it's hydrating. I got Courage, which is a nude mauve. They do have a lot of pretty colors, but hopefully this goes with our eye look today. I'm not going to do a lip liner or anything. I'm just gonna try this out. Ooh, this doe foot's interesting too. It has like a flattish triangular shape to it. I do feel like with all these products, the doe foots are nice. They're kind of catered to where you apply the product. And if you can tell, this is like such a good match for my lips. You can barely tell that I have anything on. And the texture of this is so interesting. It really is like a whipped, totally weightless lip formula. And they're not super pigmented, which I actually really love about this. I feel like it just looks like my natural lips. With the finish of it, how it feels, it does not dry down like a liquid lipstick. It remains this sort of velvetyness on the lips. It's just so easy to apply, and since it's not super pigmented, you can get a wash of color or build it up a little bit more. And I feel like it gives a really blotted lip type of effect, which is my favorite look. I always sort of blur out my lipsticks anyway. So this was like really impressed me. I didn't think this was gonna be something I was that wowed by, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to build it up a little bit more. The shape of the wand makes it really easy to line the lips. It has this like sharper edge to it. It's not sharp, but it's flat. Here's one last close-up. I do feel like the base is looking better on camera than it is in real life at the moment. For me, just my forehead and like the smile lines, something happened on this side that does not look as good over here. Like this side looks way smoother, just the way I powdered. Maybe it was the primer. I will have to try to experiment and see what happened over here that was better than what happened over here. Blush and everything is still there and looking nice. Just feel like texture right now is not looking the best, but it does feel very lightweight. We will have to see. I'll have to play around with the products a lot more. All right guys, those are all the Rare Beauty products that I had to try out today. We'll go ahead through each product and round up my thoughts on it. I will have to try these out again. This is just a first impression. The primer I think is really pretty and glowy. I'm really not sure how this affects longevity or the smoothness of makeup. I've been wearing it for the past couple days and I'm not really sure that it does the best things on your makeup. So again, one we'll have to try out continuously. For the foundation, I really loved how it looked. I love how it applied. Once I set it or kind of let it settle, it did do some weird things on my texture. So I have high hopes for this, but it's one I'll have to experiment with different powders, different ways of setting it, and see what works the best. So blush, I think this is really gorgeous. Probably one of my favorite products from the line so far. Super pigmented. It looks really natural and smooth on my cheek, and it was just super easy and fun to use. For the concealer, I skipped right over that one. The concealer is also one where I think it gave a nice first impression. We'll continue to use it and see if maybe setting it earlier would help with like the lines, but it does look smooth under my eyes and it feels weightless. Gives me good medium coverage. I don't feel like it was super full. You might have to build it up a little bit more, but I love the doe foot shape of this too. For the highlight, this is, I feel like, kind of like the thing that ruined my face. Didn't ruin my face, but you guys know what I'm saying. It's just the powdered side looks way better. I don't know if this is like a total dislike for me yet because it does look pretty on this side. I will have to try it again with the powder and then this over it because it is a really pretty natural look. If you don't use powder, it's going to be a little bit more dramatic. So this is like an we'll see. It seemed to emphasize texture a little bit. Lastly, we have the lip cream. Love this. I feel like that shade's pretty accurate. accurate. Love this, love the shade of it, love how it feels on the lip. Can I say love one more time? I love it. This was probably like one of the standout products for me, which was definitely surprising. I didn't go into this thinking that the lip product would be one of the best things that I tried, but if you like a creamy, matte, blotted lip look, give these a shot. That's really the only thing I can give like a good approval of yet. We will have to see with everything else. That was it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy at any point. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to be picking up anything from Rare Beauty, or what's one product from this video that stood out to you the most. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Did I say that already? Just don't forget. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.